Yogis, today we are going to look at a couple of stretches for lower back pain. I've had some requests. Lower back pain is something that we can all face at any point in time during our lives, and quite often it happens in the morning before our joints have kind of warmed up a little bit. So let's look at a couple of things that can help alleviate some lower back pain for you. So we're going to pretend that we're lying in bed because it's a really great place to start, because some of these stretches you can do before you roll out into your day. So, the first one we've kind of played with before, drawing the right knee into the chest, just tucking the chin into the chest and sending the left heel away. As you inhale, feel the compression of the belly into the thigh. As you exhale, just feel the surrender, letting go there. So, this is a really nice release into the hips, but also for the lower back. It's also going to work into the ascending colon, so it's a really lovely morning stretch. You can swap that over and do the other side. So this then becomes descending colon. Again, the inhale creates space in the body, and also you'll feel that compression between the belly and thigh here. And as you exhale, just surrender and let go. Number 2, cab off the rank, is both knees into the chest. Just grab hold of the hands. So nothing too intense here. And then just give the back a little massage onto the earth. So it's almost like I'm alternating, pulling one knee into the armpit and the other. I'll kind of get my groove on with the music here. So you just rock and roll from side to side here, feeling what feels good. You can see I've got no pressure happening with the feet here. You know, maybe you're just with the knees and feeling a little bit of movement into the knees and the hips, creating a little bit of mobility in that lower back. So not applying too much pressure. We're not gripping right into that space. We're just letting it loosen up. So if it's feeling a little bit tight. Coming into number 3, tip number 3. So this one is figure 4, or a variation of thread the needle. So I'm going to cross my right foot over my left, and I'm actually using the adductor on the inside of my thigh to push that right knee away. So that's going to take a little bit to activate that. Chin slightly into the chest, and I can feel my lower back already pressing into the earth. And from here, I'm just going to reach around my left thigh and just gently pull that knee back in towards the chest. So it's a nice grip there on the back of my hamstring. The inhale creates a little length, so I can feel that length happening through my back body. And as you exhale, just surrender, relax a little bit. See if you can draw that knee slightly closer in towards the chest. So what's happening with this foot here is that it's crossed over the top of the quadricep, and it's almost like the front of the foot wants to curl back around the knee. So it's creating a little gap there and activating into the foot and into the shin. This feels quite good. We're also targeting into the piriformis and the glutes on that right leg. So then we can just swap that over so that we get a little matchy-matchy, a little bit of balance. Remember, both legs, they won't be the same on any given day. If they are, woohoo, party time. So I'm certainly a little bit tighter on this side. Crossing my foot over my right, wrap the hands around the hamstring, a little bit of activation in that left leg, pushing back as I inhale, creating some length in my spine, and as I exhale, pulling that knee into the chest. You can really feel that beautiful opening in the piriformis underneath the back of the glutes, deep in your butt cheek, and also opening up into that hip a little bit. Feels quite nice. So we're going to exhale and release out of that. So this next stretch is bridge pose. So you can do this in bed, but you're probably better on a more stable foundation unless you've got a super firm mattress. So just planting the hands by the side body, drawing the chin into the chest. The knees, the feet want to be about hip width apart, so having them a couple of inches from your butt cheeks, and you want to activate the legs so that it's like you have this action of the knees wanting to squeeze together. Like if you had a yoga block, you would want to be squeezing that yoga block together. So you've got a little bit of activation of the adductors on the inside of the thigh. So working a little bit of internal rotation there as you work on that squeeze. And that's going to release into the sacrum and the lower back. So it's going to feel quite nice. So this should feel good as a starting point. As you inhale, you're just going to start to lift the hips up off the ground, and you can use the hands into the earth here to lift up. Now I am squeezing my glutes, and I'm trying to lengthen my spine, so there's a slight posterior tilt to the pelvis as I draw the tailbone down towards my calves, using the hands into the earth, maybe to press a little bit higher, and that feels quite good. Exhale and release. You can do that a couple of times. You can do it as many times as you like. With each inhale breath, you want to feel the lift, pressing the feet into the earth, and the exhale, just holding in that space and enjoying the opening. When you come down out of that shape, separate the feet a little wider, and here we're really working into that internal rotation of the femur. This is called constructive rest, and we quite often use it in our yin practice, and it's really nice for releasing into the lower back and the sacrum. So that should feel quite good as well. I think we're up to about number 5 now. We're going to bring the knees into the chest, but not all the way to the chest. So make it like it's a 90-degree angle here. Take the arms out to the side, and you're just going to drop the knees down to the right. Down to the left. Extend that right arm away from you and gently, slowly gaze towards the right. So if it's super early in the morning and you haven't done any warming up at all, or you're not feeling particularly juicy, this stretch might feel really tough. So a couple of things to remember. You can separate the knees with a block or a pillow, and that's just going to take some of or relieve that twist, not make it as deep, but allow you to work into and access deeper variations of that pose. So once you relax the body in this space, the inhale is creating space, exhale allowing you to surrender. Eventually you might be able to remove that block and deepen the expression of this shape. Eventually gazing all the way over to the right side, feeling that beautiful release into the lower back. We're going to come back through center, and you can just take a few little rolls here. Again, I've got my knees at about 90 degrees. I'm going to take my block over to the other side. The other alternative is to pop the block underneath the knee. So as you roll over to the right, extending the arms out to the side, trying to get the shoulders back down, gentle gaze over to the left. You can see I'm able to relax into this shape a little more because I'm not straining to get my knees to the floor. Then with each inhale and exhale, allowing yourself to surrender into the shape. And eventually you might like to take that right knee down to the earth, separate the left and the right with the block, and then eventually take that block away and feel that stretch into the back body. Rolling back through the center. So I'm just going to show you the 3 levels of the block again on this side. The first one is underneath the knees here. So as you come over, you're supporting the leg. The second one is with the block between the knees, so a little bit more depth in the twist. And then the third variation is no block. Inhale and come back through center. While we're here, why not enjoy a little bit of happy baby? Grab hold of the inside of the feet and just a little bit of movement side to side. With the inhale here, you want to feel like you are lengthening through the back body, and as you exhale, this little gentle movement side to side again, bringing a little bit of warmth and a little bit of mobility into the lower back. And it's quite lovely because you can feel the whole back body down onto the earth. So if your back is giving you grief, rolling over to one side, pressing that hand into the earth, and use the arms to support you moving up. So there's nothing worse than finding yourself with lower back pain and trying to rush out or get out of anywhere. Just make sure you breathe and take your time to support yourself coming out of the shape. So one of our all-time favorite shapes to work into the lumbar spine and bring some relief there is child's pose. So in particular, the variation that we use to release through the back body, through the lower spine in particular, is knees together. So if this is a really challenging posture for you to get the forehead down to the earth, use a pillow or a bolster. And you can just come down and simply just rest the head onto the pillow. You want to feel like you're sending the hips back to the heels and creating a little bit more space through the back body. And that will feel quite restful, and you can turn the head in the other direction and get a little bit of a twist into the neck as well. And you can stay in these shapes for anywhere between, you can stay 3 to 5 breaths, you can stay 10 breaths, you can stay 3 to 5 minutes. So some of these shapes are going to bring you relief. Stay as long as you can. You're going to come into a deeper variation of child's pose. Of course, you can pop a block underneath the forehead, or you can bring the forehead all the way down to the mat. Allow the hands to float back. So you're really resting into the shoulders and opening between the scapula as well. The hips are still drawing down onto the heels. And this can become a place of really deep surrender. So I know that I'm talking and moving around at the same time, but try and stay still in this shape. Here is the block variation. When you're in this variation of child's pose, it's almost like you're in this really tiny space, and you can really connect in with the breath here and feel that expansion through the back body. So as you're drawing in each new inhale, feel the expansion through the back body and really have that sensation of taking the breath into the lower back. And I know that sounds a little esoteric to start, but it can be super helpful in just saying to the brain, I really want to release into this part of the body. So allow me to take the breath down there. So the inhale is going to feel a little bit of compression of the belly onto the thighs and that expansion of the back body. And then the exhale is simply going to allow you to surrender and go a little deeper into the shape. This shape, child's pose, Balasana, is really beautiful to find that deeply relaxing and nurturing expansion of the back body. If you're feeling like getting a little bit more active, downward facing dog is always a lovely shape to stretch out the back body. So we're going to send the hips high, press the hands into the earth, draw the heels down towards the mat and hang the head. And the last shape we're going to work into today is a variation of Uttanasana, deep forward fold, but we call this one ragdoll. So there's a little bit of a bend into the knees. And I've got my disco music happening already, so my back must be feeling a little bit loose, and my heels just want to do this. So if your heels want to do that, you can do that too. So, ragdoll. Plant the feet into the earth, bend into the knees, and drop the body down. Hang the head heavy, grab hold of each opposite elbow, and just hang out. So this is an inversion. So our head is below our heart, is below our hips. And we're really drawing and lengthening into the back body here. Again, the inhales for length, and exhales allow you to release into the shape. Again, you can stay here in this beautiful variation of ragdoll for as long as you like. And take a gentle sway side to side. It's going to help loosen up and create some mobility in the lumbar.
And as you go to come out of this shape, hands palms to the earth, start to engage the core and gently roll all the way to standing. The longer you have stayed in that inversion, the slower you should take to come all the way out. So there we have it, all the way from lying in bed to rolling out on the side of bed into your ragdoll pose and eventually making it all the way to standing and moving into your day. So I genuinely hope that some of those shapes really help you with any lower back pain that you might be experiencing. There are a raft of other shapes as we move through our practice and you increase your mobility and flexibility, such as Trikonasana, revolved triangle, and variations of downward facing dog that are going to be super helpful as well. As moving into some Cobra, Sasangasana, Rabbit Pose, Camel, so which is moving into back bending, all beautiful shapes to help you strengthen and create space in your back. But we shall get to those in another tutorial. For now, I genuinely hope that you enjoy